Today we're going to do some investigative reporting. We're going to try to find out what it is that Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett have been secretively buying, the way that they've been going about that, how they've been pouring billions of dollars in, and the clues that might lead us to what that stock is, at least what sector it's in. So we're going to do some investigating here, but before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button to become a follower of the Cashflow Academy. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you're notified when new videos come out. Let's jump over to AI. And we're going to use artificial intelligence to basically help us narrow down that search. And so first, I'm just going to ask ChatGPT, what do you know about the secret stock Berkshire has been buying? Now remember, Warren Buffett is, well, he stepped down as the CEO, but he's still the main investor. When Berkshire Hathaway puts billions and billions of dollars into an investment, that's Warren Buffett. They have two other managers there of capital, Ted Weschler and Todd Combs, but those two manage smaller amounts of capital. So when it gets up to be 5 billion, 10 billion, you know it's a Warren Buffett pick. And Warren Buffett is considered the greatest investor of all time. So market participants want to know what he's doing, why he's doing it, and try to figure things out ahead of time. So here's the latest. Well, let's see recent developments. A mystery industrial stock. Now remember that the stock market is made up of different sectors. There's the energy sector, there's the technology sector, there's the consumer sector, there's healthcare, industrials, and this says it's probably an industrial stock. Now, why do they think it's an industrial stock? Well, because in Berkshire Hathaway's earnings, they have to report a little bit of information as to what that company does. And they mention commercial, industrial, and other for this $4.8 billion increase, but they haven't announced who the company is. So AI seems to think that it could be someone like Caterpillar. Maybe Deere, maybe UPS, maybe Honeywell. These are all companies that operate in the industrial sector. So is it Caterpillar? It seems that that's their best guess. Well, probably not is the reality. There's a lot of different stocks within the industrial sector, but they're making a guess. It says that their recent 13F filings show that they bought some Nucor, some United Health, some D.R. Horton, some Lennar, but those position sizes are not big enough, right? Nucor, that's under $1 billion. United Health, it's 1.57. We already know that they've put 4.8 billion into this mystery stock in the industrial sector. So how do they keep it under wraps, and why do they keep it secretive? Well, the world follows and watches Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway closely. And if Warren Buffett is buying aggressively and the market knows that it is, the market will front run and they'll drive the stock price up, making it difficult for Berkshire Hathaway to fill the position size that they want. They're managing hundreds of billions of dollars. So they want to buy a big stake, but they want to get in on the dips and get as good a price as possible. If the public knows about it, it'll drive the stock price up, thus hurting Berkshire Hathaway shareholders because they won't be able to buy as much. So he can file basically to have it secretive, where he doesn't have to publish who the company is while he's acquiring the stake. Once they're done acquiring the majority of the stake, then it will be made public. And so this is perfectly legal. This is following the rules of the SEC, and that's what they're currently doing. Let's ask, who is your best guess if you were to pick 3 companies as to who the mystery stock is? I didn't word that very well, but I think it understands. Based on the clues of their filings, trading patterns, and Buffett's historical buying style, my 3 guesses would be Caterpillar, Deere, and Honeywell. So, and then it gives some justification, some reasoning. How smart is AI? Again, it's probably not these companies, but it is likely, given the information we have today in the industrial sector. We know that much. These are some of the biggest performers in the industrial sector. So if you wanted to dig a little bit further, here's a fun place you can go. If you go to sectorspiders.com, that's sectorspdrs.com, it'll break down all of the biggest sectors in the market, and we can go into these sectors and explore them further. And if I want the industrials, that's the sector I want to focus on, I can actually look at the holdings and it'll give me the top 10 right here. And I can click next and it'll give me the next 10 and the next 10, or I can even download an Excel file with all of these names. We know that Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway have been acquiring a big stake. That means it's a Warren Buffett pick. We know that they like bargains. They like good value propositions. What have they been buying lately? Well, we know they've been buying into United Health. United Health is a company that has been significantly hampered since their CEO was gunned down in the streets of New York. So if you're unfamiliar with that story, their CEO was shot in the back and killed in New York City. This was bad news for the stock because they lost their CEO, but it also brought all sorts of scrutiny within the company. That stock price was at $600 per share. After this happening, it immediately gapped down by over $100 per share. It's below 500, kept falling into the 400s, the 300s, and now we're in the 200s per share as of today. Warren Buffett likes bargains. He likes good value propositions. He's been buying a little bit into a United Health. They've been buying a little Nucor, which is a steel company. They're looking for bargains, and so if you are looking in the industrial sector, you could look for companies that have strong moats. A moat is what Buffett calls a durable competitive advantage. It's hard for any other companies to compete. Good value proposition, relatively low PE compared to how much their earnings are growing. Those recipes that he looks for is a good guess as to where your starting points would be. And you can see Caterpillar and Honeywell and some of the names that AI guessed. Maybe they're right. Maybe it is Caterpillar. We'll find out in the future. Now, United Health is interesting because they've been buying some shares. So should we go in and buy? Well, we talked about United Health immediately following this huge news story of their CEO being murdered. When that happened, we did a podcast at the Cashflow Academy, and we said, don't rush in to buy. Yes, it's a deep discount right out of the gate, but this brings all sorts of scrutiny and problems potentially for the company, and you've got to let the dust settle. Well, sure enough, it kept going lower and lower. Now we're in the 200s, and now Berkshire has started to acquire a position down at more than 50% discount or so, right around a 50% discount off of the highs right now. That's pretty compelling. So the dust has settled. It's also good that it's been months now, and the news is sensationalized. The news wants to bring you sensational stories. Well, the public gets bored with the same story over and over. So the dust kind of settles and people move on and stop talking about UNH, and the scrutiny dies down and the company gets back to normal. And that's what you're looking for as a shareholder, a normalization of earnings, a normalization of opportunity. So it doesn't mean that UNH is a great screaming buy right here, but at $271 per share as of today, it's much more attractive and certainly is something that I'm now looking at now that the dust has settled, and am looking at other companies similar to that where maybe they're discounted. We don't rush in to buy immediately in the crisis, but when that dust settles and the value proposition is strong, we'll look to capitalize. So if you like this video, make sure you hit this next one. It's a doozy, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're going to bring more content, more information. We're going to make you a smarter investor. So check out the next video now.